Welcome to a quick look into the dialog HTML element that get added about 1 year ago in most of the browsers. There was some browsers like Chrome that have it even longer, but now it is like 95% used or usable in browsers. Okay, let us quickly take a look into what is the dialog element. First of all, you see a quick code example where you see how the dialog looks like or how it could look like. We have the dialog tag, and that allows you to put some content into it. What are the benefits of this new dialog? Firstly, comes from the browser itself. That means you don't have to make some libraries that allow you to place the dialog. You can directly use it because the browser supports it. Usage nodes. You has the ability to work with forms inside of the dialog, and with the new method dialog, you can now tell the form that it should provide the data that the user inputs to the dialog, and you can then listen on an event from the dialog to handle that close event with the data that it provides. The second one is that because everything comes from the browser, you can easily access the backdrop to adjust it with a blur or like a transparent color that it kind of differentiates between the content behind and the dialog itself. And it is relatively easy to set up an autofocus when the dialog opens on a specific element to help the user by directly can interact with the dialog. Why it is good to use the dialog? First of all, it's simple. You don't need any external library to do this because the browser already have it. Accessibility wise, it is a feature that comes from the browser, and you can use the default functionalities that the browser provides, and also it's relatively easy to customize it. In this video, we will take a look into 3 examples. We will quickly take a look into an example how it is used. Then we will adjust the styling and improve the accessibility. And lastly, we will use the dialog to handle forms. I have prepared a small snippet. We have here like a button that you already can see, like the open dialog. It has an ID with open dialog and have the dialog itself. We have a styling. The styling tells the dialog how to look like. I will quickly open it that you can see. We have like no bordering. We have a border radius that like rounds up the corners. We have the padding that you already can see. We have a background color that is relatively bright, and we have a box shadow that you can slightly see. Also, what you already can see is that we have styled the backdrop by this pseudo element, and we have like the button here that I think we can also remove. Okay, then we have JavaScript. That's super important. We getting the dialog itself, we get the open button, and we get the close button. We also adding event listener to the open button and the close button. The open button calls the dialog.show modal, and the close button calls the dialog.close. That's like 2 functions that the dialog already providing for us to open and close the dialog. And as you can see, you're clicking on it, it opens this backdrop, and you can click on the close to close it. So that's the relative basic setup. We go now a little bit deeper into adjustments for the dialog. We now adding an area labeled by. That means that's something that is accessibility wise good because this can be used from screen readers to explain what the user sees or what the dialog is made for. We have like an H2 element that says welcome, and if you like open this, you already can see it's a little bit more content. That means you can input whatever you want inside of it. There's no big of a problem. We also adding some animations now. Here in that example, we make like a short animation. You already can see where it like comes from the top a little bit and like goes down to translate Y0. What also we want to adjust is that for mobile, it's not that user friendly because it could like make it even bigger. We adjusting this to make it for mobile a little bit better, like that this dialog get bigger for mobile use. And what we now can do is, as I said, you can like say auto focus on this element, and if you open it now, it automatically like focus the button you setting the autofocus on. Which means you can close it by simply clicking on enter. You kind of can see it because it's like bordered. And we also can do the same in JavaScript when we want to focus the button again by adding an event listener to the dialog with close, where we then focus the open button, which leads then to an kind of focus loop. When you kind of adding this into a bigger page, it would allow the user to open a dialog, interact with it, and if it closes, the focus will be back on the element that the user lastly focused before it opened the dialog.